Hello and welcome to Jamie TV. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me just press this button over here so you can see me. I'm not using any intro music today because I have a lot to get through and because I haven't made any. I'm going to be hopefully making some interesting sounds during the stream. I've got a few things that I want to show you based on questions that I've had. So welcome to another Cubasis 3 workshop. I've no idea how many I've done now or when I'm going to stop. I suppose I'll stop when the questions stop coming in, and when I feel that, you know, that I've covered what I can cover. What I'm thinking is that in the next stream, hopefully by then, we'll have had the new update. So the next stream will be about that. I made a note because I've had quite a lot of questions about this. The 3.4.1 update. Now, let me just check the chat. Oh. Hi Sam, hi Vortex. Sam's saying that the new update is live. Oh, hi Noi, dude. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so let me just think about. Hey Mars, thanks for being here, man. Okay, so let me just kind of backtrack a little and cover that. So when we got the 3.4 update for Cubasis 3, in my opinion, it took what was probably already the best traditional style digital audio workstation on iOS to another level. For me, it just made it that much better, fixed loads of bugs and brought in some new features and stuff, and I'm over the moon with it. But although it fixed a lot of issues, it also, with the new features, along came a couple of new bugs. So Steinberg told me that they were working on a fix for that, because normally an update for Cubasis 3, we wait a long time for it, and then we get a lot. And Steinberg never tell you when it's actually going to happen, which is probably quite wise on their part. They drop it when it's ready. So I've been in touch with Steinberg because loads of people have been asking me, and I asked them when is the 3.4.1 update which has been promised as soon as possible to fix the bugs that came with 3.4 going to drop. And all they would tell me at Steinberg is very soon. So Sam, are you saying that that's actually dropped now? I'm gonna have to deal with that, aren't I? Let's have a look. So hey, hi Paul, thanks for being here, man. I hope that everyone's well. So if you are watching the chat, if you are watching the stream live now, then please say hello in the chat so I know that you're here and I can thank you for joining me. If you are watching from the future, then thank you very much. You can always comment below the video. Right, yeah, okay, let's check out the App Store, as Sam says. So, I'll go to this screen here. Okay, and I'll swipe up. And I guess I'll close Cubasis 3 actually. And now where is my App Store? There we go. And we'll go to Cubasis 3. I'm not seeing an update. Maybe it's not dropped. Maybe it's not dropped in all countries yet. I know that sometimes when there's a new app or a new update or whatever, it doesn't land in every app store at the same time. So it's showing here for me. Where's my other mouse? There we go. Switch that on. So it's showing here for me the last update, which was 3.4, was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I'm not getting it here. That's a shame. I could have updated, and we could have like looked at that live. That would have been awesome. So it looks like I'll be looking at that in the next stream. Hey, Stephen Tucker, thanks for joining us. Thank you for being here. And Joe, the moderator, is here, so everyone behave. Hi, Daniel. Okay, right, so let's see. There's no point me doing that. I mean, sometimes when you just kind of drag down, it refreshes, but that's not happening for me, so I'm just going to close that and open Cubasis 3 back up. Right, so now, oh yeah, and happy anniversary, Joe, and give my love to Doug. Now, so if you look at my project here, you'll see there's very little going on. I've got a couple of, I've got hold of the wrong mouse. I've got hold of a couple of drum loops here, which I may need later on, but ignore this channel for now, and ignore this channel for now, because we're going to be looking at the amp sim in the one that comes with Cubasis 3. We're going to check it out and see if it's any good. But before I do that, I'm going to show you something that I've been asked quite a lot about over the last week, since the last stream really, when I looked at a couple of internal instruments very quickly. So what I'll do is I'm going to add a MIDI track. Now, what I've been asked about is how limited are the internal instruments when it comes to using a MIDI controller. Well, the truth is that the internal instruments, I mean, basically you get a whole load of instruments that come with the app, and they sound pretty good. Some of them sound really good, some of them not quite so much, as you'd probably expect from included sounds, and they are a little bit limited. You can't do much with them, but you can use a MIDI controller with them. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you how we do that. So first thing I'm going to need here, the main person who's been pestering me about this is has been asking me, he's particularly interested in organ sounds. So let's go down here, and actually, did I arm my track? No, arm the track, stupid hippie. Right, but we don't want piano, we want some organy sounds. There we go. Right, let's just choose an organ sound. Now we have quite a number of organy sounds to choose from. My apologies, some are louder than others. Now, what you'll see from looking at the screen is that there's not a massive amount we can actually do to alter these sounds. But in fact, I'll show you. I mean, all you've really got here is a very simple ADSR. And we can alter the polyphony. And PB range. What's PB range? Oh, pitch bend range. Ah. You can tell I've never actually used that, can't you? Hey, Audible's here. Hey, Audible. How we doing, dude? Let me just octave that up a bit. That's a bit better. Right, now what I'm actually going to do, as you can see, I'm very limited what I can actually do to change that sound. But if let's just choose an organ. Right, we'll choose that one. Nice and bright. If I go to my insert effects. Now, there's quite a lot of effects that come with Cubasis 3, and a lot of them are better than you might expect. Many of us are guilty of, when we're using a digital audio workstation, of basically disregarding the effects and things like that it comes with, you know, which is possibly foolish. I'm certainly guilty of it myself. But the thing is that, you know, like if you watch YouTube, right? If you watch a lot of YouTube like I do, you're constantly bombarded with, you know, great third-party apps. You know, you need this new compressor, you need this new reverb, and we buy these third-party apps because, you know, because they're wonderful, because somebody like Doug Woods or Jade Starr or, you know, Jakob Hack's done a video on it, and you're like, yeah, that sounds awesome, I want that, and we buy that and we use that, and virtually never really bother with the internal stuff. So some of the stuff in Cubasis 3 is good. Let me show you this one. Seeing as how we've chosen an organ, we will grab something that I cannot see in the list. Why can I not see it in the list? Probably because I'm live and I'm not looking properly. Go on. I'm simple. Right, yeah. Okay, I must be looking in the wrong place. Maybe it's in one of the effects packs. It is. It's in one of the effects packs. So it's not an internal sound exactly. It's one of the Cubasis 3 downloads. But they're like the cheapest chips, and some of them are really good. So we'll grab the Rotary Speaker. Now, the Rotary Speaker. If I play a chord, and then you'll see that I can change the rate of the Rotary Speaker, the amount of dirt on it, and so on. But wouldn't it be good if we could do that with a controller? So I'm going to go up to Setup, and I'm going to go to Midi, and I'm going to press Learn. Now, when we do this, everything that we can operate with the controller instead of by touching the screen is going to be highlighted with a beautiful green outline. And if I go to my Rotary Speaker, you'll see that I can control the controls in the Rotary Speaker with a controller. Now I have this Akai LPD8 attached as well as my keyboard, so I'm going to use the twisty knobs to operate the twisty knobs in the speaker right now. Unfortunately, I've only got 8 twisty turny knobs here, and there are 10 that I can choose from. So I'm going to choose, I'll leave off the 2 accelerator controls, I think. So all I do, press dirt and fiddle with my knob, right? And now that knob will control the dirt, right? So that's my dirty knob. And rate, knob 2, speed low, knob 3, whoops, speed high, knob 4. And then we'll go low and high mix with that knob. We'll have a width knob, and we'll have a tone knob and a mix knob. Okay, so now I can, oh, and actually while I'm doing this, I'll show you this as well. If you want to control the play, record, metronome, etc. with a controller, you don't have to have a controller like this that has like play and record buttons on it. You can use any old controller button. So while we're here, we might as well use pad 1 down here for play, and we'll use pad 2 for record, pad 3 for metronome. And then, oh, I might as well do loop as well. And then rewind with this one. Fast forward with that one. Okay, so now I've set up everything I want to set up. So I'm just going to exit MIDI Learn, and you'll see that I can press play with this button here, and I can switch my metronome off with that one. And I could record with this one if I had something to record, if I'd armed a track, etc., etc. And he was about to touch the screen to stop play, even though he's assigned it to a controller because he's a stupid hippie. Okay, what we're saying in the chat. Lots of chat going on. Just lots of people saying hi and being friendly, and that's awesome. Right. Now, I'm really itching to get that update now. I'm kind of tempted to go and check again. But anyway, no, let's crack on. I can do that next stream. It'll give me something to talk about next stream. Okay, so now if I press, if I play a chord, now I can alter the, so let's just bring the volume of that down slightly. Okay, go back to my speaker so you can see it move. Right? So, hey fam, nice to see you, dude. Right, so I'm going to play my chord and I'm going to turn my knob. And if you check out on the screen, you'll see it move. And to me, that's always exciting. Don't know why. Right now, just to show you what this speaker can do, I can change the rate and the distortion, the speed of the low and the high, and then we can blend between the low and high. And then I set up my tone button as well, didn't I? That'll be this one. And finally a mix knob. Right, now I think that sounds pretty good. So if we add just a little bit of Roomworks reverb to that. I mean, you know, you might not be able to manipulate the instrument itself very much. There's like virtually nothing you can do to change the sound, but that actually sounds pretty good. I would use that, you know. And if you're coming from the kind of point of view like maybe you didn't buy Cubasis 3 for iPad or for Android to do full finished productions, maybe you bought it as a notepad so that you would start tracks while you're commuting, or you know, while you're bored at some family Christmas do, you know, and so you're arsing about on your phone, you're starting a track, and then later on you're going to export it to your desktop door to sort of continue working on the track. So you're not going to want to buy loads of like amazing AV3 reverbs and guitar sims and, you know, organ sounds. You want to be able to work with what's in it. So I just want to show people who are maybe thinking about buying Cubasis 3 that some of these sounds are actually pretty good. And you know what? Arsing about with a controller like that just always makes me smile. That's fun. Okay, right, so Vortex says, so glad Cubasis finally added Midi Learn. Super important. Yes, absolutely. You know, it's like, it to a lot of people, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't bothered before it was there. Then once it was there, I found it super fun. Is Audible being silly again? What? Sitting on the loop? Honestly, dude. You can always trust Audible to lower the tone. Yes, no details, please. Thank you, Nutty. You tell him. Keep an eye on him, Joe. Right, now, so that's like how we would use a MIDI controller on an internal effect, actually, not an instrument, but that's about as close as it gets. Now, I said I would also take a look at the guitar amp in Cubasis 3. Now, I recently had reason to look at this. Now, Vortex, am I allowed to talk about this? Tell me. So I recently had reason to look at the amp sim in Cubasis 3. Now, of course, I've looked at it and messed about with it before, but you know, of course, I have loads and loads of guitar software, and so, like, if I'm going to do some guitar stuff in Cubasis 3, I'm going to open up an Imbrini amp, or I'm going to use Rhino or whatever, right? But recently, I had a reason to record some metal stuff and try and get a sound. I'm okay to talk about it, Emma. Okay, to try and get a metal sound for a Cubasis 3 project. Let me show you this. Instead of waffling, I'll just show you this. I just need to press this button here, and then I need to press this button here. Right, okay. So we're over at Vortex's website. This is the Mobile Music Pro website. If you've not checked it out, you should check it out. So Vortex has a lot of packs available, of samples, MIDI packs, all kinds of stuff, tools to help out producers, iOS producers, I think are what he predominantly has in mind, but you know, you could use a lot of this stuff on desktop too. And this is the new pack that's coming out soon. And just to give you a quick overview of it, right, it's modern metal sounds. It's got over 200 sounds in it, and it's got 5 drum kits, and I've heard some of this, and it's all pretty cool. We've got lots and lots of stuff, he said, not reading the bit he wanted to read to tell you about it. Right, so we've got over 100% royalty-free sounds, and everything is BPM labeled, etc., etc. I know the great lengths that Vortex goes to create this stuff, and to label it all very, very meticulously. And this is going to be a brilliant pack. Now, what I did was, he needed, because I didn't make this pack, I didn't record the guitars for this, but I did make a Cubasis 3 template to go with it. So if you buy the pack, then what you can do is open up the Cubasis 3 template, and it kind of gives you a great starting point to make a metal track. So I recorded some real audio guitars, but I recorded it clean, and then I used the amp sims inside of Cubasis 3 to get a seriously metal sound. And you know, well, Audible, just, you know, hold that thought. yeah. Oh, okay, so Vortex is telling you about this, so I can tell you about it. Yes, there is a pack that will be coming from Mobile Music Pro in the not too distant future, which I created, right? But all I created for this one was the Cubasis 3 template. And so I was using the amp sims in Cubasis 3, and I thought, you know what? To say that these come with the app, they're not half bad, really. So I'm going to show you what you can get out of the amp sims. So I'm going to need a guitar. Yes, a guitar. Let's get a guitar. I have a guitar here. Now you'll see that I've already got the guitar track ready, and I've already got ToneStack Pro in here. I just need to show you this because I'm not using ToneStack Pro for anything other than the tuner. Because one thing that Cubasis 3 is still lacking is an inbuilt tuner. I mean, for me, the idea of releasing a digital audio workstation that doesn't have a tuner in it, I mean, what is that about, really? That's ludicrous. But this could be said about all the iOS doors. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that. Right, so I need to arm this track. And I have some guitar. Right. So I'll just show you in ToneStack Pro. The only thing I have open is the tuner. We should be in tune already. We'll just have a quick check. Yes. Right, and nothing else is happening in ToneStack Pro. I'll switch it off. And I'm going to go to Internal Effects and grab the Amp Sim. Right, okay. So now you can hear that familiar hum and slight bit of interference, that slight bit of noise that is kind of very much a part of guitar stuff. But I'm going to do something in a little while to get rid of that noise, or at least most of it. Right. Now, as you will see, like much of the internal Cubasis 3 stuff, this is very, very simple in its layout, but it is quite effective. So we have a choice of amps, and we also have a bunch of presets. Not all the presets are intended for guitar. If I just press on factory presets here, you'll see in this list we've got stuff for synth and, like there, aggressive synth, and just some really useful, helpful general presets. If I just grab a couple, just to, let's press Metal God, shall we? And then we'll grab something completely different. We've got Gasoline here. And Grandpa's Amp. That one, to be fair, for guitar is quite useless. Fender Bender. Right. Now, presets are all well and good, but let me show you how it actually works if you want to just kind of get stuck in and dial in the sound yourself. You toggle through the amp models with these two buttons here, and you can kind of recognize from the speaker grills what a lot of these amps are supposed to be modeled on. This one, this valve amp, is one of the most useful ones, I would say. This one's quite a decent rock one, as is that one. The Fender one is the one that looks like a Fender grill. Is probably the one that I would use like most often for the kind of things that I tend to record. No, I don't believe there is any global tuning available, no. See, that's the sound I could use, definitely. All right. Now, all you can change in this is the drive, and we've got like a bass through treble kind of control. It works kind of like the tone control on a guitar does. It kind of, when you wind up to 10, go on that middle pickup, you get the most trebly sound, and at the other end it just kind of winds it down to a muddy darkness. The vast majority of guitar players use the tone on the guitar on 10 pretty much all the time. Alright, so with this amp, with the drive quite low, that's the sound I could probably use, but let's just take the drive up nice and high. Right, so now we've got all that guitar noise. Oh, a little bit of organ creeping in there. So let's go here, and we will add internal effects. We will add the channel strip. Now in here, I'm not really big on using presets, but they are fabulous for kind of quick solutions and getting you started, helping you to learn what an application can do. And if we go down to electric guitar rhythm here, we've got 3 presets that will get you in the right ballpark. I find 3 to be the most agreeable. Now you'll see that the noise gate is actually switched off. Let's switch that up. Okay, and now we've lost all that noise, and yet as soon as I touch my strings, right, it's like magic. Brilliant. Now I'm going to cut a little more low off than this preset's got cut off. That's probably a bit better. I think the compressor's about right. And let's just see what happens when I just sustain a chord. Right, the threshold of the noise gate is not cutting my guitar off too soon, so I'm going to leave that as it is. But I'm going to switch off the saturator. The saturator affects the signal before it hits the guitar amp. I just accidentally touched my organ again, forgive me. So I like that off when we're going into a guitar amp. I want the guitar amp to take care of the saturation. If I'm going to add any more saturation, then I'm going to use another effect for that. There is an overdrive effect as well. Right, so now that I've demonstrated the noise gate reasonably effectively, I think, I'm going to go back to the amp sim. We're going to turn this into more of the kind of sound that I would use. We'll take it down here. Right, okay. So it sounds okay. There's a nice kind of drive there. I've got that kind of slightly transparent drive that I like. There's some bite. If I back off, it cleans up a little bit. Okay, maybe that noise gate is a little harsh. Let's just try and press on the right button. And actually what I should have done is move the channel strip to before the amp sim. Yeah, it is too harsh. Okay, let's correct that. bring the threshold down. Okay, that's probably more suitable for me. And now there's a whole bunch of other great effects built into Cubasis 3. I'm just going to show you one that I really like very quickly. We've got a really, really nice sounding chorus to play with. I'm not going to demonstrate this fully. It sounds lovely, but that's just far too much chorus. I like a really slow rate chorus. If I bring down the depth and the mix, now all that's doing is fattening my tone up a little bit. If I switch it off and back on, right? Subtle, but it's there. Hey, Colin's here. Everyone say hi to Colin. Nice to have you here, dude. Right, now, let's see. Reverb, right? We'll be nowhere without a little reverb. And the Roomworks reverb in Cubasis 3 is kind of like just a very straightforward, very standard reverb. And you know what? On iOS, we've got a plethora, there's a big word for a stupid old hippie, a plethora of wonderful, brilliant, creative reverbs. But there are not so many kind of just reverbs that are just the kind of reverb you'd use a lot on most instruments in most tracks, right? And this is that reverb. It's a good reverb, not a lot of controls, fairly standard, but I've forgotten how to play guitar, but that sounds right, doesn't it? Now, this it's a little bit fizzy, but you know, if you're just careful with your settings, you can get a really nice sound out of it. So, I think to say that comes with the app, that's not half bad really, if you just kind of have if you're not like opposed to having a good fiddle. Right, now, hey, Alex, welcome. Imagine if we could save track presets in Cubasis with AV3 internal plus effects and recall them whenever we needed. Oh, Sam, that would be amazing. That would be like the best thing ever. I mean, imagine, because for me, I record a lot, and imagine if I've kind of made a great guitar sound that I really, really like, and I've used 5 AV3s for it, and I think that's a great sound. That's and I would want to use that sound or maybe a slight variation of it on multiple tracks. If I could press one button and have all of that reappear, that would be just stupendous. There's a word I don't think I've said for a long time. All right, now I'm going to have to change my headphones because here's the thing. The headphone feed I'm getting right now is from my computer, and there's a slight latency on it. There's no noticeable latency when I'm playing guitar in Cubasis 3. I need to put on a different set of headphones that are plugged into my mixing desk so that I can play without latency, because it's kind of difficult to play when you hit the strings and then you hear the sound. So what I'm relying on you guys to do is to let me know if anything's peaking, if anything goes wrong with the sound at all. Let me know in the chat, because I won't hear it. I'll be listening to my desk. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put on some cheapo headphones that I'll leave plugged in to my desk. And the lead on them is very short. So if I move too far this way, they will just yank off, and that will be hilarious. So, yeah, so just sit and hope for that. Yeah, I probably will. Now, oh, my lead came out. Sorry about that. Right, okay, so keep an eye on that for me. There'll be some latency in the chat too. Yes, there will. There is a few seconds, actually, the way it appears to me. Okay, so delay. That's what I'm going to show you. Right, okay, so in the shop, let's go to the Cubasis 3 shop. Now, in the shop, here are all the in-app purchases. Now, we have a bunch of things here that you can buy as extras when you buy Cubasis 3. And my recommendations would be RoomWorks. Actually, I think the RoomWorks, when I bought Cubasis 3, I had to download RoomWorks, but it was free. And I believe it still is. I wonder if anyone can check that for me. We have the Waves plugin bundle, right? Buy that. That's awesome. Everything in it is good. I use everything in it rather a lot. Auto-tune, don't buy that. Nobody should use auto-tune ever. Classic Machines, that's great. I really like that. I use that a lot. The Arpeggiator for Microlog, it's great. I mean, if you like Microlog, then buy an Arpeggiator for it, because it's cool. And the effects packs are really, really cheap. Now, I'm not going to tell you that they're all great, but most of them are really good. And then here are the Waves, plugins that you can buy on their own. I didn't know you could do that, actually. I thought that you just had to buy the bundle now, but I have no reason to go in the shop, really, because I have everything that's in there. Now, in the bundle, you get the audio track, which is really, really good. I've used that a whole lot. The maximizer is good. The EQ is really good. But this delay here, now, this delay, you don't hear much about it. You don't hear people talking about it very much. I have seen Doug demonstrate it when it first came out, but other than that, I've not heard much about it. And you know what? It's really good, and I've neglected it as well. So I'm going to show you how good it is. Now, what's my volume like now? I don't think I'm peaking. Right, so I've already got it here. I shall activate it. And if I press on the delay and go to factory presets, now with this plugin you get an absolute ton of presets. There's loads, and a lot of them are very, very well named and tell you exactly what it's going to be. So let's try a tape delay. Thank you, fam. It is, isn't it, Stephen Tucker? It's really good. Right, I'm just going to show you just a few presets to give you an idea. Ping pong. I hope you're wearing headphones or listening through decent speakers. we've got a dub delay here. That's the filter delay. I mean, this delay... Sorry, another organ interruption, right? Yeah, this delay, I mean, I don't like to really ever slag off anybody's apps. And my attitude is, if there's an app and I think it's pants, I'll just not give it any exposure, right? I'm not going to do a video on it and tell everyone that it's terrible, because I just don't like to say anything bad, you know. But I will say this, that there are plenty of delays on iOS that people have paid good money for that are not as good as this one, which they probably already own and have hardly touched. Let's have a look at... There's one in particular I really want to show you, but let's just go... right, long distance. Let's just go to that neck pickup. Okay, right, now I really want to show you, because I for a great guitar sound, I like to use yeah, I know, it's just, you know, I could mute the organ, but you know, I can't be arsed, if I'm honest. Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying, so you distracted me, fam. Your fault. Oh yeah, right. So when I'm trying to make a guitar sound, right, I really like a spring reverb, and I like to try and find a very, very realistic sounding spring reverb. And my favored one is Eventide Spring. I've got quite a subtle setting in that I use on a lot of things. I'm an enormous fan of it. Now, of course, this is not a reverb, it's a delay, but if I go and switch off this reverb, yeah, switch off the reverb, go back to the delay, and in the presets, there is one called, I promise you there is, I can't find it, but it's there we are, right? We've got a stereo version of this and a mono. I'll press the stereo one, right? So the stereo, the stereo reverb, the stereo spring reverb inside the hybrid delay. It's actually great. Oh, hang on. I mean, it's just, that's really, really good. Now, it's over the top for the way I would set it, for what I would use it for, but it's actually brilliant. So, let's have a look at how the delay actually works in here. We've got a tap button, which I would never ever use because I am incapable of setting a delay or anything else up with taps. It's never any good at all, so I just don't touch that. But it has one for those of you who are not as hapless as me. We've got a lo-fi button which will just drop the bit rate and make it sound lo-fi. Don't know how noticeable that is with this overdrive on, but yeah, I can just tell. Yeah, okay, we'll leave that off for the moment. Right, now, okay, so we've got modulation, a depth for it. Let's whack it all the way up so you can hear it. Alright, and bring the rate down. And not the nicest sound I've ever heard. But you know what? When you're doing like experimental stuff with this delay, it's brilliant. Just bring that rate lower. There. That just makes me smile. It's just a happy sound. Right, okay, and I'm gonna take that off. Alright, I can stop it ping-ponging by pressing this. Now, I can't explain to you in clever words what this does, but I can tell you that this button here, let me put the ping pong back on. It flips the phase of the left channel of the stereo delay. And then this one obviously does the right hand side. Put them both on, see what that does. Let's take them both off. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go and take my chorus off because I think that may be colouring the sound a little too much. Okay, and yeah, that's better. All right, now we can carefully adjust our feedback. Bit more. Oh, no, bit too much there. Okay. That's far too much for the kind of sound I'm looking for. Right, now we can set the tempo of the delay freehand, or we can dial it in BPM wise like this. So you see on the screen, it gives you the usual kind of fraction style readout of how fast the delay is, or we can just sync it to host and then adjust it in time to that, which is my preferred way to do things because I can just never get it right any other way. And then if we do it this way, if we press MS, we can then do it in milliseconds, which some people are talented enough to do. I like it on host. Yeah. Right, okay. And then we've got high pass and low pass, which to be honest, for me, a reverb or a delay that doesn't have filters on it like this is a bit useless. I mean, well, not useless, but I have to add one in order to be able to use it. And if you wish to move these two things together, you can press the button in the middle and they will both move together. Look at that. That makes me smile too. Fam has got 637 apps on his old iPad. And 471 on my iPad Pro. How much crossover is there, Fam? You know, how many of those apps are on both? Right, now I've messed this up now. I just want to get... yeah. Okay, what about... No, I don't like that. Okay. Alright, that's better. Right, now I'll bring my feedbacks down. And then no, there. Right, get rid of the ping pong. Right, now I've got a spring reverb. And that makes me happy. Now down over here, this analog control, this gives different, hang on, I read this because I wasn't sure. I read up on this. I actually read part of a manual, only a little bit of it, but this gives different voicings and colorations to the delay. And on top of that, you've just got an output level and a wet and dry. And of course, because I'm using this as a send, it's fully wet. Now, if I just go to here and turn down the amount that I'm sending to that delay, I've actually got quite a nice usable spring reverb sound. So that's everything I wanted to show you today. I hope that's been at least a tiny bit useful to one or two of you out there. Now, like I said earlier, I am going to my next stream about Cubasis 3, my next workshop, I'm going to look at the new update and the fixes that it's brought in. It's a shame, a real shame I couldn't get that download today. But anyway, so if you have any questions about Cubasis 3, or if there's anything in particular you would like me to look at, then please do comment below the video and let me know, because I don't know how many more of these workshops I'll actually be doing. So yeah, so get in touch and let me know. And of course, if you would like to do anything to help out the channel, then all the information is down below the video. It's there if you want to. So I won't witter on about that. I'm going to go and grab a fag and a coffee, and then I'm going to go and watch Doug. You can check if it bumps up before the stream ends. Yeah, you know what, right? I've got 1 minute before Doug starts. Let's go to the App Store and see if it's there now. Cubasis 3. And it's there now. How typical is that? Okay, so I'll be updating that and having a fiddle around with that for the next week, and then I'll do another workshop featuring the update next week. All right, thank you very, very much for watching. Take care of yourselves and be amazing people. Make lots of great music, and you know where to reach me if you ever want to get in touch or you ever need any help with anything. All right, see you later, and don't piss pants about. Bye bye.